G'day guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good episode, and if you do, hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to, and maybe even hit the notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. With that said, I hope you enjoyed today's stories. Let's go. Posted by a deleted user, titled, "My girlfriend made fun of my speech impediments. I was left broken, and now don't know what to do." Hello everyone. As you can tell from the title, I have a speech impediment. I have a stutter, and always have ever since I could talk. It was way worse when I was younger, but has gotten better. I wouldn't stutter unless if I was nervous or overly excited, but normally I would block 1 or 2 times depending on the range of the sentence. Now that I've said that, I'll get back to the title. Later today at around 5 PM, my new girlfriend and I went out for the rest of the day. She was drinking, but I wasn't as I'm still in university, and I'm afraid to get drunk and do something stupid, so I just asked for some soft drinks like a Coke. A few drinks in, she met some people at the pub and she got along with them. I just said hello to them and asked about them, but that's really it, and was just watching football on the TV. Anyways, she was joking around with them and then started talking about me. I wasn't really paying attention to any of it until she told them that I had a stutter. I was shocked by this, as I had always told her that I wasn't comfortable letting people know that I have a stutter if I don't know them. She then started making fun of it, mocking me and telling me to talk so they could hear it. My mind went blank, and I didn't know what to do. In primary and secondary school, people made fun of it because of me. I didn't do anything as I was embarrassed, and telling on them wouldn't change anything, but it still hurt me a lot and would affect my self-esteem badly. My girlfriend knows of this, and knows what I went through, and said she would always be there for me. Anyways, hearing her make fun of me felt like a stab to the heart. I didn't know what happened to me, but everything went blurry, and it was like I couldn't hear anything except from my girlfriend and the people that she met. I managed to ask her, "Are you serious?" And all she did was laugh and asked if I was going to cry about it. I didn't know what to do. After 5 minutes of thinking to myself, trying to regather my thoughts, I paid for my drinks, not hers, and gave the bartender a tip. She said she heard what happened and was sorry that I had to go through that. I said thank you and left. Not knowing what to do, I went back to my flat and sat down, thinking to myself. I put my phone down and was flooded with notifications from my girlfriend asking where I went and if I was okay. She didn't even apologize for what she did. We don't live in the same place as we've only been together for a little under a year, but still spend all of our free time together. 10 minutes later, I hear knocking at the door, and it's my girlfriend. She said she was sorry and she didn't mean it, and blamed it on the fact that she was drunk. 5 minutes of knocking and apologizing, she realized I wasn't going to reply back or even open the door, so she left. She knew I was there as my neighbor who I was good friends with let her know that I looked upset and that she should check up on me. It's now midnight and I don't know what to do with myself. She keeps flooding my phone with missed calls, voicemails, and texts saying how she regrets making fun of me. I want to be able to forgive her as I normally did that back in school, but this time I couldn't. This time I felt betrayed and felt like I was stabbed in the heart by the person who would never make fun of me. I still care about her, and I still love her, but I don't think I can ever forgive her, and now realize how she can make fun of me whenever she wants if we get into an argument now that she has done this. I'm hurt by this, but at the same time I don't want to break up with her, but I will never be able to forgive her. I don't think she's told anyone about this, as no one has been texting me. I'm laying in my bed making this post and trying to cry myself to sleep. I don't know what to do and I'm seeking advice. Thank you for reading. In the comments, "Not the asshole. That's a shitty thing to do, drunk or not. Her drunk was telling you how she really thinks about you, but doesn't say out loud. Kick her to the curb and move on. I have a lifelong challenge with stuttering myself, had to have speech therapy as a kid. I've learned not to waste time on anyone who's an asshole about it. I stutter so I can understand where you're coming from. In my opinion, just cut ties immediately. Don't respond, don't engage, nothing. You called her out on it and she made fun of that too. None of the girls that I've dated have ever done this, and I don't care if she was drunk, there is no call for this. You've got a glimpse of what life with her will be like. Be grateful for that. Stay away, don't respond, don't explain, don't let her try to excuse it. Alcohol doesn't make someone humiliate someone else they respect. You have turned the page, and not only do you owe her zero explanation, you'll be exhibiting weakness to allow her any further reciprocated contact with you. If you have things at her place that you need back, then send a friend. If you give an inch to understanding on this, or an inch to hearing her out on this, you lose. This is how you maintain, and in fact grow, your self-respect. I'm sorry that it happened, but you're responding to it like a real boss. She will likely lie to her friends about you and why you two are broken up. Let her. The friends you both have who believe her can have her. Sometimes it takes something like this to see where you really stand with a person or group. Yeah, I like that advice. I feel like you do just have to cut the cord immediately and really not let her back into your life. It's pretty early on into your relationship with this person, and they're already treating you like complete garbage, so why waste any more time with them, is my thought process. They don't seem to have any redeeming qualities or aspects about them that would be like, hey, you know what, it was literally a mistake, ha 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 ha. No, what they've done is unforgivable, they know better, they should have done better, and they didn't choose to do that, so they don't deserve any leeway from you. And now, onto the updates. Hello again. I didn't think that I'd be back here so soon, but a lot of people wanted an update, and a lot has happened today. Before any of you asked, yes, I have broken up with her. But before I get on with the update, I thought I'd clear some stuff up that people mentioned in the comments. By the way, thank you all for the support that you guys gave. I truly appreciate it, so thank you very much. Firstly, I've never assaulted my now ex-girlfriend before and never planned on doing so. I don't know how someone thought of that. Secondly, yes, I did go to speech therapy before when I was young. Updates. Waking up today, I didn't know what to do. I was still in shock that my girlfriend did that. I picked up my phone and checked the previous post that I made and was truly thankful for all the people showing support. I took some of yours advice and ignored all of her texts, missed calls, and voicemails. I don't think that she has told any of my family or friends what happened because no one's texted me about it. Or she has, and completely lied to them. I started my day normally and tried to ignore all of my emotions for her. I work part-time at a tailor shop and had requested more time as I still had some time off of university. Unfortunately, today I had work. I didn't know if I was going to be able to go, but decided that I needed the distraction, so went. As soon as I walked into the back, everyone knew that something was wrong. This is because my eyes had turned red from all the crying I'd done in the morning and from last night. I know it's embarrassing. I told them everything was okay and that it was probably just my eyes being irritated, but they said that it wasn't that, as I was a very joyful, happy, and innocent person. Word spread around about something wrong with me until it reached my boss. He was a very nice person who I considered a close friend. He asked me what was wrong, but I told him nothing. He knew that I was lying, as he said that I'm always a truthful person and a bad liar, and said that if I didn't tell him the truth, then I should go home and give myself some time to think. I didn't want to tell him what happened as I knew that I would break down crying, so just said that I was going through some personal issues. He said that whatever it is I'm going through has affected me badly and still sent me home. On my way home, I walked into a shop. I don't know why I did, but I just did. I looked at the alcohol aisle and looked through all the drinks, thinking to myself that I need a break from reality. Since I'd never drank before, I didn't know what to do. After 5 minutes, something switched on the inside of me, and I thought that I didn't need the alcohol anymore, so I walked back out. This is when one of the problems occurred. I remembered how I left my jacket in the pub that I was in last night since I stormed out so fast. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to be reminded of the humiliation that I went through and thought people would recognize me in there. I had my phone and wallet as those were in my trouser pockets, but I decided to man up and go to the pub. I went in and couldn't see it at first. My eyes were drawn to the area that it happened, and I started tearing up. I wiped the tears and asked the bartender if she had my jacket. Coincidentally, it was the same woman from last night, and she said yes and gave it to me. Before I could leave, she told me what my girlfriend was doing when I left. What I heard just turned the knife that she had already stabbed me with. She told me my girlfriend kept making fun of my stutter, and when she realized I left, she realized what she had done and left too. As she left, her new friends even said, "Sucks to be that guy." Anyways, walking back into my flat complex, I was greeted by the receptionist who asked if I was okay. Again, because of my eyes being red, but I said everything was fine. She then brought up my girlfriend, which I then started tearing up again and walked up into my flat. As soon as I walked in, I fell to my knees and broke down. Again, I know, embarrassing. I remembered some of the comments people told me, and I decided to text my girlfriend. I'll keep this part short as this post is already long enough. I texted her saying that I could never forgive her for what she had done to me, how she had betrayed me, humiliated me, and made fun of my insecurities. I told her saying not to contact me, don't come back to my flat. I then said that we are done, and if she wanted to even have the chance of just being friends, then she would respect my decision. I then told her that the stuff that she had at my flat will be in the reception waiting for you, and asked if she could bring my stuff to the reception as well. A few comments told me to send her this, so I did, and told her that if she had a problem with it, then cry about it. Since she said that to me, and clicked send. Before I got the chance to block her, she immediately responded. I don't know how she typed that fast, but something she said caught my eyes. She said, "I was drunk and couldn't control myself." That flipped a switch in me. All I could feel was pain and anger. I went off on one and told her how I couldn't control my stutter and that she knew that. She still made fun of my biggest insecurity. She even told me to say something so that I could humiliate myself. When she knew that I was hurt by this, she still laughed. She knew everything that I went through, all the childhood pain, all the bullying I went through too. She even knew how I had suicidal thoughts as a child. I didn't say this in the first part because of embarrassment as I was ashamed, and to finish it all off, I told her, make fun of me all you want now, as she was dead to me. I sent that, and I blocked her instantly. I chucked my phone across the room and cried for the next half an hour. I stopped as one of my coworkers, who I would say was one of my closest and bestest friends, knocked on my door. I let her in, and she saw I was crying, just hugged me and sat down. I told her everything about what happened and cried on her shoulders. Before any of you asked, I had not had any intimate relationships with her. She asked if there was anything I could do. Since I trusted her, I asked if she could get me some time off of work. She instantly said yes and asked anything else. I took some time thinking about this, and since she knew most of my friends, I asked if she could tell them what happened, as I couldn't bring myself to do so. After this, and when she left, I took all of my ex's stuff to the reception and asked the receptionist if she could not let my ex-girlfriend up anymore. She said of course, and said if you needed me, I'm here. So I thanked her and I left. After this had happened, my phone blew up from all my friends saying how sorry they were that I had to go through all of this. I told them all the same stuff and said that it's okay, but I'm still hurt and I need time to recover. I thought this was all over until the receptionist knocked on my door and told me that my ex's best friend collected her stuff but didn't drop mine off, and told me that if I wanted my stuff, then she would meet me at a cafe tomorrow at 4 p.m. as I couldn't break up with her over text. I was annoyed about this and went into my room. Most of the stuff at her house wasn't important, but one thing was: a watch. It was my granddad's watch, which he gave me just days after he died. I took care of that watch, and now my ex-girlfriend had it, and the only way that I could get it back is if I met up with her. I don't know what to do now, and I'm still in bed writing this all up and crying because the one thing my granddad gave me was in the hands of the person who betrayed me. Should I meet up with her? In the comments, Late Champion 8678 says, I don't know which country you're from, but can you threaten something like small claims court for the watch? I don't think you could call the police, and unless the watch has monetary value, I'm not certain even small claims would work. Why would you leave that at her place anyway? As for me, I don't give in to blackmail and I wouldn't meet up with her. You're already vulnerable, and I don't want her to use that to make you feel guilty. OP replies, "From the UK, and I left it there because at the time she was my girlfriend, and I trusted her." Goddamn, girl cares so much about impressing her new friends that she'll throw anyone under the bus. I would call rage bait, but I know people like this in real life. Not that they're part of my life anymore anyway. New friends weren't even impressed. She just embarrassed herself. Yeah, she's just a terrible person, and it's terrible that she's using the watch in order to get to you to meet up with her and break up with her in person. Sorry that you had to go through all of that, OP. Know that everyone else here agrees with you that she is just a terrible piece of shit person. No one deserves to be treated like that, and I hope that you can just put up with this in-person meeting, get the watch, and completely cut ties with her. That's just life sometimes. Awful people are gonna do awful things. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Our next post is by a deleted user, titled, "Parents want my entire paycheck." Okay, so I, 16 female, just got my first job like a month ago. Last week, I got my first ever paycheck, which was really exciting. Now, one of the main reasons I got a job was so I could cover some of my own non-essential expenses. Clothes, stuff for hobbies, room decor, some food. Since my mother, 52 female, is a stay-at-home mum, always has been, and I didn't want to be a burden for my father, 56 male. Before I even got my first paycheck, I had budgeted exactly how much I wanted to spend and what I wanted to spend it on, since I didn't want to blow it all. My plan was to save at least half and spend what I didn't save. I'll admit I did spoil myself a bit, got some new clothes, got a new sewing machine, and I'm gonna get my nails done. All of this was only like $180 out of $500, but I also gave a portion to the church as per my mother's request. I plan to put the rest of this in savings and not touch it. My mother is terrible with money. Like, blow through $800 in one day type of terrible. She's also always asking someone in my family for money, like my dad or my siblings, 22 male and 21 female, and usually they give it to her, but my sister's rent has went up and her work hours have been cut, so she doesn't have any money to give out like she used to. And my brother isn't working because he's only home for the summer. My father also has some new expenses to pay, so basically no one has handouts for her anymore, so she decided to come to me. Since I first received my paycheck, she's been acting kind of weird. Like when I got it, she wouldn't leave me alone until I told her how much it was, even though I wasn't comfortable sharing that information with anyone, and then she started talking about how, in her culture, I'm a first-generation American, the entirety of a child's first paycheck is given to the parents as an offering and a way to show thanks for raising them. I told her that it's a good thing I wasn't born where she was, so I don't have to do that. And I thought she would stop, but she brought up how it's been so long since she got a pedicure. It's been literally 3 weeks. I said okay, and she then asked me if I would pay for it. I gave her $30, which is how much our regular nail salon charges for pedicures, and she got upset and said that it wasn't enough. I told her that I didn't have any more to spare, and she said I was being a greedy. Okay, whatever. Then we went grocery shopping, which she paid for, as usual, with my brother's EBT card. I got a few snacks and ingredients, and my food came up to like $27, which isn't bad since I share my snacks with my siblings, and I cook for them too. But then, my mother starts complaining like, if you're gonna eat all that, then you're gonna have to start paying for it too. It's rude to try and bankrupt your brother. I was upset that she was making comments about my eating habits, as she always makes comments about my body, and also frustrated that she was trying to milk more money out of me. So I just told her to put all of my snacks and stuff down, and that I didn't need them really anyway. She got even more upset and said that I was making a scene and being spoiled, but I just ignored her. The thing is though, it's not just her. My father is acting like this too. First, I took a shower. I do take kind of long showers, like usually 30-ish minutes, but this was never a problem until now. He literally stormed into the bathroom, like he actually slammed the door open, super uncomfortable for me, but whatever, and told me that if I was going to be wasting his water, then I was going to have to start pitching in for the water bill. And he was serious. So now I don't shower when he's home to avoid conflicts like this. And then he told me to give him $50 to send to his family back home. I asked if he would pay me back, and he said that he shouldn't have to since he's never asked me to pay him back for raising me. Basically, I don't know, maybe I'm actually just being too stingy. They're not wrong that they never asked me to pay them back for raising me, so maybe I do owe it to them. But also, I really don't make that much, and I think I should be allowed to spend my money how I want to. I'm literally going into my senior year, which is so expensive already, and I don't want to spend all my money in case of an emergency. I really just want to save, and they're not letting me do that, but I don't know if they're entitled or maybe I am. Sorry if this is too long. Edit to add, oh my god, I don't know how I forgot this, since this was actually really upsetting and the whole reason that I made this post, but a few days ago, I fell asleep on the couch, with my phone unlocked I guess, and right after I dozed off, I feel someone grab my phone, which was next to my head, and so I wake up and I look at her all confused and asked her to give it back to me and she did, but she forgot, or doesn't know how, to close recently used apps. So when I opened the phone, I saw she had opened the Zelle app. I don't want to accuse her of anything, but I feel like if I woke up any later, she'd probably have sent herself money or something. I don't know, but that was really weird. To respond to a couple of things I keep seeing / clearing things up, 1. Sorry for taking 30-minute showers. 2. Sorry that it's a tough pill for me to swallow that a bunch of strangers on the internet are calling my parents abusive. I'm not saying anyone's wrong or right, and I seriously appreciate that you're all trying to help, but I'm not refusing solutions, or it's just a lot to handle by myself. 3. I'm kind of against talking to a trusted adult about all this, but it's not willful ignorance or anything. I don't have any close family, so the only options would be a therapist or a school counselor. I can't see a therapist because my mum is anti-therapy, and talking to a school counselor is risky because she's required to tell CPS. And a case like that would put my mother at a pretty high risk of deportation. It's pretty personal, and I don't want to get into that, but there's that. 4. I know it sounds like I'm being forced, but I'm seriously a practicing Christian, and I do enjoy giving it to the church. I never minded giving it to the church, it was just that the amount I was expecting to give, 10% of my pay, was a lot considering what I was earning. Thanks again. In the comments, Tiltburger says, abusive AF. Also that he can enter the bathroom? Can't you lock it? Do you have SB to talk to? OP says, I'm not allowed to lock any of the doors in the house. They think that means that I'm hiding something, and I don't know who I would talk to. I don't think they're abusive. They're actually nice to me quite often. Money is just one thing that they are not nice about. My dad came from a less fortunate background, and my mum is used to being spoiled. She's the youngest girl of 13 siblings, and her family comes from money. Sounds like you're rejecting all sensible solutions. What's your end goal? OP says, I don't know, but I'm literally just scared. Everyone's saying that my parents are being abusive, which is something I've never really thought of before, and telling me to move my money and defend myself, which is all easier said than done. I seriously appreciate the solutions, and I wish it were that easy, but put yourself in my shoes for a second. I know my parents, and I know how they'll react and what that can mean for me, which is why I might be apprehensive about some of the solutions that I've been given. Yeah, look, OP, there's not too much that you can do in this situation, but I do want you to recognize that they are abusing you. Abuse can pop its head up in many different forms, and this is very much financial abuse. And you've given us so many different examples of their behavior where they are black and white abusing you. And I know it sounds like you're being forced, and if you're happy to give 10% of your paycheck to the church, that's completely fine. You can do your own thing. But at the end of the day, that's 10% of your money out of your pocket that, you don't sound particularly happy in losing. If you wouldn't be happy giving your abusive parents that money, I don't know why you're happy giving that money away to others, though I guess that's just something that I mentally do not understand. Biases and whatnot. And now, onto the updates. So it's been a while. I kind of stopped replying to the comments and stuff because they were getting kind of overwhelming. but thanks to everyone who took the time to respond. If you didn't read/don't feel like it, basically I got my first job and my first paycheck, $500, and my parents felt like all of the money was rightfully theirs. Long story short, I ended up with like $180 left out of $500, and only around $100 of those dollars were towards myself. Now for the actual update. So since my last paycheck, nothing's gotten better. I ended up giving up a total of like $200 to my parents for whatever they wanted, but they still wanted more? Like first I had to pay for my own senior pictures, which was cool or whatever, but kinda surprising because none of my siblings ever had to do that. And then they started asking me for gas money. Like, I had to go to the library, which is probably a 2-minute drive from my house. I would have walked, but I'm literally not allowed to, and my mother was yelling at me, saying that if I was going to use her car, then I was going to have to put gas in it. Which would be reasonable, except they don't make anyone else do that. Like, my 22-year-old brother actually drives their car, and my mother gives him money out of her father's paycheck to put gas in it. But he's her favorite, so I guess it makes sense. Also, my father kept calling me stingy, like, every day. Like I would just be sitting eating dinner and he would come to me and be like, "My daughter, good at so many things, but so stingy." And it started getting to me, so I would try and explain that I didn't have any more money until I got paid again. Then I got paid yesterday. It was like $500 again, and I was trying to hide it. Like, I transferred the money from my bank account to my Cash App so that my father couldn't see that I had any money. And if they asked, then I could play dumb. But today when I got home, my parents started interrogating me, like, they were asking me how much I got paid, or if I knew how much I was going to get paid, and I was lying and saying no. But then my father literally pulled out a paper copy of my pay stub. My job still mails those out, and my parents open all of my mail. Packages, college letters, school uniforms, etc. So unless I'm constantly intercepting the mail, they might always know how much I'm getting paid. Then my mother was mad at me because last paycheck, I paid for her pedicure, and now she wants a manicure and her hair done. I tried to tell her that I didn't have the money, but she refused to believe that, and said that if I couldn't give her money, then I couldn't eat the food that she worked so hard to make. She cooked today. So I just gave her $80 for her nails because I'm over-arguing. This is kind of a sidetrack, but it's important-ish. But my parents are arguing right now. My father is spending significantly more money out of all of his paycheck because of something that my stay-at-home mother committed them to financially. But the thing is that she still expects to be able to keep up with all of her self-maintenance. Clothes, nails, hair, etc. Long story short, she said that she didn't need his money anyway, and so when I sent her the money for her nails, she was bragging to him about how I gave her money and not him. So then my father was upset because he thinks I only sent her money because we're both women. He said it kind of harsher than that. He has misogynistic tendencies because of the culture that he was raised in, so I ended up just giving him $80 to even it out, and I gave them both $30 extra for gas money, so they would stay off my ass. It should be over, right? No, it's not, because I got in trouble for lying about getting paid. They think I'm lying because I plan on blowing it all on myself, which isn't true. I was gonna save this check to make up for what I spent on the last one, but now they think I'm selfish, stingy, and financially irresponsible, so they're gonna start limiting my spending of my own money, and the school year and my birthday are around the corner. And I'm pretty sure they're not gonna let me go out to dinner for my birthday like I planned. But that's not a money thing, I'm just not really allowed to go out. There's so much more I could say about my parents, but that could probably be 15 different posts, and I don't know if they'd even be appropriate for this sub, but thanks for reading if you do. I'm sorry if this doesn't make a lot of sense, I'm just really tired. Like, I'm over this whole thing. I wish I had somewhere else to vent, but I literally don't. Thanks for listening, people. In the comments, Cat1832 says, "I'd quit. Or find another trusted adult and tell them about your parents' behavior." OP says, "I would, but I have absolutely no family and I'm not allowed to see like a therapist or counselor." What ethnicity are you? Definitely sounds South Asian, I can't lie, this is so on brand. OP says, "African and Caribbean, mostly African." A school counselor for F's sake. Please. Your parents are so immature. You'll never be able to trust them when it comes to money. Please just talk to someone. This isn't right. OP says, I'll try, but the last time I tried to talk to a counselor, I got in a huge trouble. Like, I couldn't go to the in-person school, so I wouldn't do it again. That sucks. What kind of classes are they that you have to pay for? You're a student in high school, right? There shouldn't be any other mandatory costs. OP says, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll try. I go to a trade high school, so the goal is to get students to get ready for work straight after graduation. It's not like other high schools where the goal is to get students ready for college. So the amount of credits necessary to graduate from my school is less than most 4-year universities accept. So if I want to go to a decent college and uni, I have to take extra classes, but since those aren't a graduation requirement, I have to pay for them. Like, to graduate from my school, you need 3 math and no foreign language. Most colleges want at least 4 math and 1 foreign language. I'm taking a total of 6 math, 2 of them this school year, and 1 foreign language, so I have to pay for all of those. I hope this makes it clearer. Quotes, I don't think they're abusive. They're actually nice to me quite often. This just broke my heart. It's really common for abused people to think that they aren't really abused because their abusers are nice to them when not abusing them. I suspect that one of the main motivations of her abusive parents is to make sure that she never saves money so that she'll be trapped with them. My mum once told me that her parents weren't abusive because they always made sure that she was fed and clothed. Like, that's the bare minimum of not being a monster. I think among other reasons, it's incredibly hard to accept that your parents are deliberately damaging you when they're supposed to be the people who protect and love you unconditionally. Poor kid. She seems like a really good kid who would be super successful in a supportive environment, but these people are already trying to bleed her dry at only 16. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!